the 1930s and 40s, segregation was still prominent in America. Blacks had been free for 3/4 of a century, yet they still were rejected in schools, public places, shops, and in professional white baseball. One man, Branch Rickey, sought to change this. His religious views and moral integrity drove him to do so. Branch Rickey, as president, general manager, and part owner of the Brooklyn Dodgers, revolutionized Major League Baseball by leading the push for integration. This he accomplished through Wendell Smith and Jackie Robinson, changing the game to where anyone qualified could play rather than being based on the color of his skin. Branch Rickey was a man of high morals, leading to his goal of integration in the MLB. He did not drink and he was a devout Methodist. He even gave up his playing career partly because he refused to play on Sundays. It had long been a mission for Rickey to get minorities into the Major League. Rickey always told the story of his managing Ohio Wesleyan University, where his black catcher, Charles Thomas, was not allowed a room at a hotel, but Rickey convinced them to let him stay in the room Rickey himself checked out. When Rickey entered the room, he found Thomas sitting down, crying and tearing at his skin. He told Rickey he wished he could just rip the black right out of his skin. Touched by this, Rickey claimed he made it a goal to integrate baseball at the professional level. For many years, Rickey managed and was an important front office man for St. Louis. Although he had great success there, he had no chance to sign an African American. Many people were still hostile to blacks in St. Louis at the time, and he would not have been given authority to make such a bold move as signing one himself. Some years after Robinson's breaking the color barrier, Rickey claimed in a speech that the biggest problem in hiring a black player was indeed ownership, where he struggled in St. Louis. When asked whether Rickey's motive for moving to Brooklyn and hiring a black player was based on talent or ethics, Lee Lowenfish, biographer of Branch Rickey, baseball's ferocious gentleman, said that it was a both-and situation, that if you had a winning team in Brooklyn, the borough of underdogs and multiple ethnicities, it didn't matter the color of the player. Finally, Rickey went to Brooklyn in 1942 to become their GM and president. Even though the Cardinals were successful, he moved to a place where he could sign a black player. Upon arrival in 1942, Rickey made it an immediate goal to research players of minorities, especially blacks. Rickey presented his plan to sign a black player to the Dodgers board of directors, in particular banker George McLaughlin, for he had saved the organization from bankruptcy during the Great Depression. McLaughlin was fine with it as long as he could put together a good team. At spring training in 1943, Rickey invited players from all nationalities, including Japanese Americans, in internment camps. He sent scouts Robert Haig, Jose Seda, and one of his top scouts, Tom Greenway, to observe Latino players. Rickey wanted to break the color barrier any way he could, not just with an African American. In 1945, Rickey was presented with a great opportunity. He became a part owner of the Dodgers along with Walter Francis O'Malley and John Smith. His power in the organization reached an all-time high. In addition to this, World War II was coming to an end. The Allies had taken control, and it would only be a matter of time before the enemy surrendered. Rickey used the war to advertise his campaign to those he confided in. If a black person could fight alongside a white soldier in battle, then why should he not be allowed to play with the white ball players on the baseball field? Baseball rosters were already undergoing major turnover as talented players returned from fighting in the war. Rickey had white soldiers already lined up to play when they got back, giving another reason to be able to add a black player with them. When Rickey searched the Negro Leagues for players, many names came up, including stars Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson. Both of these players were arguably a couple of the best ever to play the game, but they had a couple of problems. First, they were older for rookies in baseball. Gibson was in his 30s, and Paige was older than that. Second, Paige and Gibson both had uncontrollable characters. They did not handle themselves well off the field. Although these were unquestionably the best players the Negro Leagues had seen, Rickey quickly ruled them both out because one slip could push the cause back years. Of the reports given to Rickey, Jackie Robinson always showed up. He had been a good ball player for the Kansas City Monarchs, but more importantly, he had the character Rickey was after. In his life, Robinson had been placed in roles many times where he fought for civil rights. In college, he was a multi-sport star, especially in football and track. He had experience playing with white players and hearing the roar of the crowd. In the war, Robinson was an officer who was discriminated against in his own unit. Finally, Negro League teams faced much abuse while traveling. Robinson was always the man who had to speak for the team to restaurant owners, gas station attendants, and the like. Historian John Vernon wrote, "How he handled the military encounter was actually truer to the way the future Dodger approached life's challenges than was understood to be the case during the first years within organized baseball." When Rickey brought Robinson into his office in August 1943, he already had plans of signing him. The last thing he had to do was figure out if he could handle the torment of being a black player in white baseball, so he grilled him for 3 hours until he was convinced. Rickey had to know his anger could be controlled since he had been court-martialed while in the military for refusing to give up his seat on a bus. Robinson thought he was brought in for a spot on the Brooklyn Brown Dodgers, a team Branch Rickey thought up but never formed. The view was widely held that there really was no intent for the Brown Dodgers team. Rather, it was a decoy for Rickey's real mission, signing a Negro to a major league club. At this meeting, he did indeed give Robinson a contract, one for the Brooklyn Dodgers organization, where he would start spring training the next year for its farm club, the Montreal Royals. Not only would it give time for Robinson to adjust and improve, but Rickey figured Montreal would be a more welcoming place for Robinson to be in. From then on, Robinson played a Hall of Fame career. He was Rookie of the Year in 1947 for the Dodgers and won many other awards throughout his major league career. He had to do it without fighting back against racist remarks and actions so that more black players would be able to enter the league. Robinson's success was largely due to Rickey's dedication to the effort. He himself could not break the color barrier, but he led Robinson to do so. Although baseball fans and experts have questioned Rickey's true motives, the fact is that he did go above and beyond anyone else's attempts to break the color barrier, escalating his legacy to a high level. Many facts do point to Rickey pushing the cause for civil rights reasons. In Wendell Smith's letter to Rickey, he said, "I understand that Kenny Washington is a much better player than Robinson." There were a number of Negro Leaguers that could have made a major league roster, but Rickey handpicked Robinson to do the job. Character was as much a factor in the process as talent. In a game against Philadelphia, Rickey was told not to bring Robinson along, but he strongly refused. Rickey never backed down when it came to defending Robinson. In the years following, Rickey and Robinson became friends as well as Dodgers organization members. This shows the cause really did mean a substantial amount to him. Branch Rickey is a highly respected man to this day. He was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1967. In 2013, the movie 42 about the Jackie Robinson story portrayed Rickey in a positive way. Also in today's MLB, an award is given each year in honor of Branch Rickey. It is given to players of high character. Each team nominates one player and a panel of judges chooses the winner from them. Baseball now features players from most nationalities, and it is due to Branch Rickey's work. Some of the best players in Major League Baseball, Hank Aaron, Reggie Jackson, Rickey Henderson, and Barry Bonds, were able to contribute to baseball because of Rickey's efforts. A number of other players came from Latino or Asian countries who were also not allowed to play Major League Baseball until Robinson first broke the color barrier. When Brooklyn manager Leo DeRocher told the team there would be more colored players coming, he was correct. Branch Rickey was the brains and the motivation behind the successful integration of baseball.